Today is not just Friday, it is the last day of the 2025 HellHades free-to-play challenge, and we're ending on a glowing purple portal and a 2x Void Shard event. Now, this video will not be my last update on the challenge account. I'll make sure to give you a more in-depth idea of how this account did in the challenge and where we've ended, because remember, I will be giving away this account in the next few days, so you're going to want to watch out for that video. But in today's video, we're just going to pull our Void Shards and hopefully add another great champion to the roster before we hand it over to its eventual owner. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play challenge. Let's get started. Here is a quick look at this account's roster. As you can see, we've got some good champions. There are definitely some holes in this roster still. I could use a really good cleanser. I don't have a really good cleanser yet. I have a couple of options, but they're all kind of weaker options, so that would be great. I could certainly use a whole bunch of other champions. In fact, I was just thinking about this. You know, I have some souls. I have some souls that I've been saving, and one of them is a 5-star Skrank soul. So that would be absolutely fantastic. Not only would that give me an AoE HP burner, but a 5-star soul on an epic champion would be very powerful this early in an account. And as you can see, I also have a couple of cold hearts. So cold heart certainly would not go amiss on this account and be very helpful in pushing Fire Knight and you know, doing other things. Spider. I mean, I've cleared Spider 25 already, but it's still helpful to have a cold heart for a lot of things. And yeah, I wouldn't mind having that champion on board. Now, the big prize would be a Void Legendary. There is a targeted champion boost for Chalco the Blind, who was added just last month maybe, or the month before to the game. A really interesting character model and a pretty cool character. So I'm going to take a quick look at this kit. I haven't done this before. I know that there was some buzz about this character, but I haven't actually looked at his kit. Let's look at the A1. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit will ignore 10% of the target's defense, and a 5% additional defense for each debuff on the target. I wonder if there's a cap on that. That could be a lot of additional defense that ignores. Steals 10% of the target's turn meter. Pretty cool. Has a 50% chance of repeating the attack against another target, except the initial target who's under 2 or more debuffs. That's a pretty cool A1. That feels like a powerful A1 there. Attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit places block passive skills. We don't have too many of those, so that's interesting against something like a Wukong. And a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. So decreased defense is always good. The second hit applies a debuff spread, taking all debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. That might be a hard-hitting skill. I don't know. He is a Void Legendary, so could be decent damage. Attacks all enemies before attacking, places increase accuracy buff on this champion for 2 turns. Only on himself, a little bit selfish. Decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns and places decreased speed on all enemies for 2 turns. Pretty cool kit. Let's look at the passive. Immune to stuns and freezes and petrifications. Cool. Whenever an enemy attempts to place one of these debuffs on this champion, instantly activates Inducer of Panic. Doesn't put that on cooldown. Increases damage dealt by 5% for each debuff placed by this champion or an ally. Stacks up to 50%. Wow. Pretty cool kit. I like it. A little bit of a counter in his kit to Lord Fabian, right? Because he can't be petrified, which is nice. And he can't be feared, which is nice. That helps against Fabian. Fabian is so like stifling. So this would be a good champion to have. It would be cool on this account. I do have Fabian on this account. Yeah, so maybe the combo would be cool too. But all right, we have 9 Void Shards. Remember that I have been playing this account with the best free-to-play methods that I understand and know how to employ. And one of those, especially early on in an account, is basically pulling shards only when absolutely necessary, when they're the most advantageous. That's primarily during 2x events. Although I did pull some shards for the fusion, right? During 1x events or progressive events. And that's just part of going for fusion. So you consider those as investments towards a guaranteed champion, and therefore the return on those shards is very high, but I don't spend void shards on fusions. So that's why I have 9 void shards here. Most of these I got from clearing normal Doom Tower. I think you get 2 or 3 from clearing normal Doom Tower. I will get 1 more in a couple of days from hard Doom Tower. I need 2 more days to get to the next void shard. So if I'm able to do that, I will get that one before this event ends, but the challenge will be over at that point. So I'm going to continue to play this for a few days until I hand it off to whoever I give it away to. I was hoping to complete the Arbiter missions, but it looks like it's going to take a couple more weeks to do that. It's still pretty good, and we'll talk more about that when I give you my full-on account review video, which will happen at a later date, probably over the weekend. Okay, so 9 void shards and a dream. I still have to pull void shards on my main account, but that'll wait for another video. So we're just going to do these 9 void shards one at a time. No 10 pull today. Good void epics are definitely going to be helpful, as are good void rares. Seducer is not a bad void rare. Might actually play on this account. Pretty good faction crypt champion. Has an AoE decrease attack, increased defense, and a block debuff. And block debuff buff is actually really valuable, especially for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. He also has ally protection. You need Temptress, though. Okay, next one. Let's get a good epic early. So I don't want to see blue tax all the way out. I definitely want good epic. Just one more good champion for this roster before I leave it behind. There we go. Come on. Yeah. All right. The Cold Heart in the house. That is exciting. That is really exciting. Actually, I have a mission. Here where I have to ascend a void champion to level 6 of Ascension. Now, I was going to do this with Genbo, who I currently have at 5 stars, but I might have to consider changing this and doing Cold Heart instead, because as good as Genbo is, there's not really a rush in getting him to 6 stars. I'm doing pretty well in Arena. I'm in Gold 5 Arena. I do think that Genbo would make that easier, and he would help me in a few other places. But Cold Heart's actually probably a bigger roster booster. Like, she'll improve my overall roster more than Genbo. So she might have to jump to the head of the line as the next 6-star, which would require a lot of effort if I wanted to get her done today. I have 5.5 hours left. So I'd have to find a way to get her promoted in 5.5 hours if I wanted to take care of that. In fact, I don't even think I can. Well, maybe. I wouldn't ascend her, right? I can't ascend her until after I do the Void keep. But I could get her to 6 stars and get her to 5-star Ascension and just sit her there. And then tomorrow, I think, after tomorrow's reset, the Void Keep will be open, because today is Friday and it opens on Saturday night for me. So yeah, we're on the Force Keep right now. So the Magic Keep will open tonight, and then the Void Keep will open tomorrow night. So that's something to think about. But that's really exciting. I'm really excited about that Cold Heart. I wish I had gotten her a week ago. That would have been really helpful, but you know what? It is what it is. It's still a good pull for the account. Okay, let's get an epic now. Let's get an epic. I've already got a Doom Screech at level 40. I believe he might even be booked out. Come on. Let's see some purple. Gear Grinder, really good Void rare. He is a reviver, so if you are looking for a reviver for your Ogun Tribe's faction crypt, he's actually pretty good. He also gives you some heals. Continuous heals on himself, and then he heals all his allies by 15% of their max HP, but it is on a 3-turn cooldown. This is a decent-sized heal, and it can be improved with books. So I actually have one built on this account as well to 40. Definitely good for Faction Wars. Keep it coming. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Who is it? Whisper's awesome. I actually pulled her the last time I pulled Void Shard. So the question would be, like, would you empower a Whisper really early, or would you just make her a Faction Guardian? Probably just make her a Faction Guardian. My Knights Revenant faction is actually looking really good, and I do need to build my Whisper eventually. And again, this is another Void epic who could jump to the head of the line and help me do that Arbiter mission. But I don't really have the gear or the team to empower a Whisper the way I would like. That's why she's not higher in terms of priority for a 6-star. But that's a good epic to have. All right. I feel like that's going to be the only one, but maybe we'll get lucky. We got 2 more shards. Come on. Come on, get something better. Get something better. A cold heart and a whisper is not bad for a last day, but we got one more shard. Come on, be something good. Be something good. Be something good. Be something good. Ah! All right. Just a cage bound who's actually a decent rare in his own right. But so that is it. If we look at the index, then we get new, I guess we got a new rare here, Steadfast Marshal, who is not going to play at least before the end of the challenge. Malbranch also not going to play before the end of the challenge. And then who did we get here? The Seducer, again, not a bad rare. So some decent rares today. Obviously, we got the best rare in the game today, right there. Cold Heart, there she is. And that's the big one. And if we go over here, again, you'll see, where is my... There we go. There's my Whisper. Already level 40. She's not geared out yet. But so now I've got another copy. So we'll have to figure out. I'm pretty, let's just put her in the Faction Guardians right now. Yeah. We get the 10% attack there. That'll actually help her out. It'll help Genbo out. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take that. Okay, so that is it for this one. Let me know if you pulled your Void Shards today. Did you hit on anything? Or did you miss? You know I will commiserate with you. And look forward to the last HellHades free-to-play challenge update for this account. I want to give you a full breakdown. This account is actually in a great place, and I didn't have much... I wouldn't say I had much luck on this account this year. The account luck was actually pretty minimal, and yet we're still in a really, really good place. And I want to talk about why that happens based on, you know, how we play this over the course of 84 days. Only 84 days, I think, this year before the challenge ends. Not the full 90 that we expected. We did just like 12 weeks. So 12 times 7 is 84. That's where we ended. But yeah, I'm going to give you that full breakdown, so look forward to that. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you'll see that video when it pops. All right, that's it for me today. Thanks for hanging out. I have been Colred, and I will see you in another video soon.